Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness. I always like talking and saying a Bible verse to start it out with. But whoso shall fear one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he were drowned in the depths of the sea. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Across the bottom, I will have it scrolling down there where there is a change.org, or I'll go over that in a little while, okay? But Rebecca Halbach and Brandon Leconey of New Jersey raised a 9-year-old in a home with more than 30 deceased dogs. Welcome to everyone who is watching this and will watch this. Please like, share, and comment. Hey there, good to see you too. Um, I had oral surgery and I'm bruised up pretty bad. They said that they were going to grind my bones down. Instead, they broke a lot of my bones. And so I am bruised up pretty bad all over my face. But I'm doing okay. I'm surviving. Good to see you. Keep coming. You won't believe this story. It's gruesome, pathetic, especially if you're an animal lover. Bad enough a child had to live in these situations. See the culprits right here? Police find more than 30 dead dogs in a home where 9-year-old lived. And that was 4 days ago. The Scripps News. There's Rebecca Halbach and Brandon Leconey. In a few seconds, I will go ahead and log into my channel from where I can make comments and see. In a few seconds, I will go ahead and log into. Thank you so much. It's taken a while, but I will be okay. Thank you so much for caring. Just remember to keep me in your prayers and everything because it's very tough. They even forgot to give me pain meds after they did all this. And of course, I tried to call back, but they were already closed. So I had to actually try to improvise and use alcohol, and I usually don't drink alcohol. So I hated the fact that I had to stoop and get some alcohol to try to relieve some of the pain. Animal cruelty as bad as child abuse in my book, right? Police officers arrived at a New Jersey home to an inhumane sight. Dozens of live and dead dogs were residing among each other, a 9-year-old child and two adults. The officers from Evesham, a suburb of Philadelphia, came across the grim discovery while responding to a report of suspected animal cruelty from a witness who saw multiple sick and/or malnourished dogs at the home, the department said in a Facebook page. After making contact with the homeowners, officers went inside to find in excess of 30 dead dogs throughout the living space. 30 dead in the house. the little girl having to live. They also found 14 living dogs and numerous cats and rabbits inside the home. So this couple were kind of like, when you go like this and like, you send kids to like the foster homes or something like that, they were like being fostered to the dogs. And look what they did to these dogs, and look what they did. They also found 14 living dogs and numerous cats and rabbits inside the home. 9 dogs were transported to a local animal hospital with multiple and extremely poor health. One dog's condition was so poor it had to be euthanized. Initial processing of the scene has led police to believe as many as 100 dogs have died in the home. You see that? Which includes the number they found in the home or believed to be buried on the property. These animal deaths made the living conditions so poor the police had to open the doors and windows upon arriving to air it out for their safety. Imagine a child having to breathe that in. Little 9-year-old girl having to breathe that death in, having to sleep in that death and that filth. These poor animals not getting fed, they get starved. These conditions prompted them to remove the 9-year-old who resided there and place him or her in Child Protective Services. Exactly. Authorities arrested the homeowners, 35-year-old Rebecca Halbach and 32-year-old Brandon Leconey, for endangering the welfare of a child and animal cruelty. Leconey is now in Burlington County Jail, and Halbach is being evaluated at a hospital for an unrelated medical condition for heading to jail too. It's not clear whether the 9-year-old was related to either suspect. What? It's not clear. Then where did she come from? Why was she there staying? Were they foster parents to her? I hope the system didn't put them with her. See how the system failed again if it is? Police alongside the Burlington County Prosecutor's Office are now asking anyone with information regarding the home or its pets, including anyone who gave them any animals, to come forward. Authorities say the investigation and search warrant execution continues, and they expect evidence can lead to more charges for Halbach and Leconey once the true number of dead animals is determined. So henceforth, scrolling at the bottom of my page, there's a reason why that is scrolling down there. With a change.org, there is a petition. They don't know whether they're related to the kid as any of theirs, or I don't really understand it. They should know whether or not the child is theirs. Well, I'm going to put the link in comments right here too about the change.org, about the petition. Oh man, it didn't say, it went and put it in different spots. It didn't save it all. Oh, great. Okay, here is justice for every foster dog tortured and killed by Rebecca Halbrook. Their next goal that they're trying to reach, they got 1,786 signatures. The goal is 2,500 signatures is the next goal there. Great. I hope so. It really needs passed on. She needs to serve more time. This is really too much cruelty. What else? Did you see that she done this to the dogs and everything? It makes you wonder how she treated the kid. It really does. This cruel to animals. How bad was she treating this poor child? This poor child having to see the death and the devastation. This kid's forever marked. The nightmares. Can you imagine the type of nightmares that this kid is going to have? The petition follows the press release from the Evesham Police Department, August 29, 2023. On August 28, 2023, the child was, I bet so too, was she having to lay down with the deceased dogs and cuddle with the deceased dogs? Who knows what all kind of torture they made her do, you know? A witness reported multiple dogs were on location that appeared to be sick and or malnourished. Contact was made with the homeowners at the residence, and officers found living and deceased dogs in the residence. Officers also found that conditions in the residence were extremely poor due to the amount of deceased animals throughout the home. These dead animals, can you imagine? Flies, and I ain't got to go there and say the different kind of things that's around dead bodies, okay? But can you imagine the stench? And sometimes you're thinking, was a girl able to take a bath, or was there animals in the bathtub too where she couldn't even get clean from all that stench? All their clothing and stuff had to smell like that. Everything. Poor child, you know? You know, she had to get attached to some of these animals as well. They're innocent, and she was innocent. Wow. A juvenile was also found to be living in the home and was removed by police due to the unhealthy conditions. The New Jersey Division of Child Protection and Permanency was contacted and are investigating. The child is now in the care of DCPMP. Yes. She may never get that smell out of her nose ever again, you know, because no telling how long she had to endure living in it. You know what I mean? She's probably got some lung issues having to breathe that in. All the different types of infection this child probably has. Officers found 14 dogs were found to be living in the residence, along with numerous cats and rabbits. Officers found in excess of 30 deceased dogs in the residence throughout the living space of the home. 9 dogs have been transported to the Mount Laurel Animal Hospital, with several in extremely poor health. If anybody wants a dog, please try to rescue these poor animals and show them love. Any of them that are living, they deserve to be loved and healthy. Go up in that area, please. Give some of these animals that still live a good home. The Evesham Township Police Department is currently working with the Burlington County Prosecutor's Office to process a scene. The investigation has generated information that as many as 100 dogs have died in this home, many of which are present in the home or are suspected to have been buried on the property. The ongoing search of the home is in connection with the execution of a search warrant authorized to search a home to recover evidence. Rebecca Halbach, white female, 35 years old, and Brandon Leconey, white male, 32 years old, were both arrested for endangering the welfare of a child, crime of the second degree, and animal cruelty, crime of the third degree. Leconey was lodged in the Burlington County Jail. Halbach is currently being evaluated at the hospital for an unrelated medical condition, which she's probably in jail now. And she'll be lodged in jail once she is cleared for incarceration. They will be lodged pending a detention hearing at the Burlington County Superior Court. This investigation is ongoing. Additional animal cruelty charges will be filed once the actual number of dogs can be determined. The Evesham Police Department asks that anyone who has information related to this ongoing investigation, including anyone who provided animals to the residents of this home, please contact the Evesham Police Department. at 856-983-1116. Confidential tip. That means you do not have to leave your name. It's confidential. The Eastham Police Department investigates. And I made it smaller. The Eastham Police Department investigates crimes related to children with the utmost concern and work diligently to apprehend and prosecute suspects of these crimes. The Eastham Police Department also has 3 certified humane law enforcement officers who respond to and investigate animal cruelty cases. If there's over 100 dogs, this is severe animal cruelty. I do not think these people need to ever step outside of the jail ever again. These officers are also working thoroughly on this investigation to charge and prosecute the suspects related to the despicable conditions in this home and the malnourishment abuse of the animals in the home. Can you imagine? Even that home probably has to be torn down. I don't see how anybody will be able to live in a home like that where all those you'll never get that stench out of the house. There's no way possible that many animals over 100. Who would want to live basically in a pet cemetery graveyard too, where all these dogs, a lot of other dogs are buried? They said up to 100 dogs had died. There's a lot of mass amount of graves, a mass amount of dog graves out there. Arrested Rebecca Halbach, white female, 35 of Marlton. Brandon Leconey, white male, 32 of Marlton. Charges endangering the welfare of a child, second degree. Animal cruelty, neglect, third degree. Please note the number of dogs buried in the yard is now believed to be in the range of 150 to 200. You see that, Jackie? To be in the range of 150 to 200 dogs? Oh, my word. I will update as new information is received. We demand justice for the innocent dogs and other animals who have suffered and lost their lives under the care of Rebecca Halbach. We believe that individual counts of animal cruelty should be brought against her for each dog she has tortured and killed while acting as a foster caregiver. See, she was a foster caregiver. Rebecca Halbach was entrusted with the responsibility of providing a safe and nurturing environment for these vulnerable animals. However, recent circumstances have revealed horrifying instances of abuse and neglect inflicted upon these defenseless creatures. It is our duty to ensure that those responsible for such heinous acts are held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. While we acknowledge that the initial investigation is ongoing, it is crucial to emphasize the importance of recognizing each dog as an individual victim in this case. By pursuing individual counts of animal cruelty against Rebecca Halbach, we can ensure that justice is served not only collectively, but also on behalf of every innocent life lost or irreparably harmed under her care. To support our cause, we present you with some relevant facts about animal cruelty. 1. According to data from the Humane Society of the United States, HSUS, approximately 1 million animals are abused or killed by humans annually in America alone. 2. Animal abuse has been linked to other forms of violence towards humans, including domestic violence. I'm wondering if they use that as an example for the child. Saying if you don't do such and such, look what we do to the dogs. If you don't do such and such, I'm sorry, that's just where my mind goes. My mind goes to where the parents, these people might even be blaming the kid. So this would have never happened to the dog if you would have done this. This would have never happened to the dog if you would have, you know what I'm saying? Narcissists, murderers, abusers. Studies have shown a correlation between individuals who commit acts of animal cruelty during childhood or adolescence and later engage in violent crimes against people. I guess lucky that they didn't do that with a child. They might have say came just in time before the child was end up done that way too. Exactly, Jackie. Nothing would be surprising. These statistics highlight not only the urgency but also the broader implications surrounding cases like Rebecca Halbach's alleged actions by holding her accountable on an individual count basis. We send a clear message that animal cruelty will not be tolerated in our community. We urge law enforcement agencies and judicial authorities in Burlington County to thoroughly investigate each case involving dogs under Rebecca Halbach's foster care. We implore them to consider the gravity of these offenses and seek appropriate legal action against her, ensuring that justice is served for each innocent life lost or harmed. Yeah, together let us stand up against animal cruelty and demand justice for the dogs who suffered under Rebecca Habach's care. Sign this petition to show your support and help bring about a brighter future for animals in our community. And there's an update down here. It said, I am beyond amazed that we now have 1,021 signatures. Thank you all so much. Let's keep the momentum going. Our voices are getting louder every day. Rebecca Halbach is a soulless monster, and she will have to pay me. So I'll show the since it would not let me put the link down there too well. Okay, here is how it is at change.org. The title right there is Justice for Every Foster Dog Tortured and Killed by Rebecca Halbach. Look at how this picture right here, September 1st, 2023. Look at that picture. Look at that dog's ribs. How horrible. That poor dog. That poor dog. Poor animal. Let's see if there's any more updates on here towards. I guess that was the last update right here. See, Rebecca Hubbuck. Sorry. Thank y'all so much. Let's keep the momentum going. Our voices are getting louder every day. Rebecca Halbach is a soulless monster, and she will always be a soulless monster. There's no rehabilitation for a human who willingly tortured, killed, and discarded hundreds of dogs and cats that were promised a loving family and home. We don't want her near our families, and most certainly do not want her anywhere near our beloved pets ever. We want her charged for every individual life that she took. Please share the petition on your social media with family, friends, and coworkers because there's so much strength in numbers. Let's try to get 5,000 signatures delivered to Burlington County Prosecutor Bradshaw by next week. She wants to get it done by next week. Brandon Leconey and Lynn Mangano. So there's even another name. So we know Brandon Leconey, but I haven't heard of Lynn Mangano. There's another name up there. Don't worry, we'll be doing this again as soon as they are charged. Thank you again. Your signatures and comments are everything. Kelly Bow. Wow. I just have to say wow to this. Yep. I bet there will be lots of animal bones around the property. I guess that's how they ascertained that it was probably over 100 animals they're already finding. It's sickening. Now they're saying it's possibly over 200 other animals that were done that way. It's just very sick and sickening. Anybody who see this, I hope that you go ahead and get the petition out there. I tried to copy and paste, but it would not let me do it in the comments. I'm very sorry for that. But you see it at the bottom of the page, scrolling in the video. Maybe that would help. They want 5,000 signatures. Please do your part. These people need to pay. And I never heard of that other girl until a few minutes ago when I did read the full update of the situation. We have heard about Brandon Leconey, but that other person, that other lady's name, she threw it in there. So we might have to investigate her as well. Maybe they were doing dog fighting. No telling. They were starving them for sure. No telling what all they were using for to do this. Why they would even be a foster to these animals when all they were doing was letting them die. That's all they were doing. How many other animals, even at other locations where they ever lived? You wonder about every animal that they ever had access to. This woman and this man, these monsters. There's so many questions out there. It's banned here too, but yeah, yeah. And for them, then they had cats in there, right? They had rabbits. They had rabbits in there. Were they cruel to the rabbits and let me go so these dogs could chase them and whatever? Yeah, they probably were breeding them too. You're right. So scary. And if they were foster parents and fostering the dogs, why was community giving them more and more dogs? You know what kind of noises that had to be also? The howling, the whimpering, the crying, the barking, all of that. The sick smell that the child had to go through. And I pray to God that it didn't scar her where she don't want to be around another animal. Exactly. There is no excuse for this either. Can't imagine what was going on. It's scary to think about, isn't it? That's for sure. Well, I saw this story and I said, well, I better get this out there. I had mailed it to myself the other day, and of course, I had surgery the 31st, and so I was just waiting for the right time that I felt a little bit better to be able to get on here and do that. I thank you so much for coming, Jackie. God bless you. Please get this out there because it does need spread out there when people can sign this petition to make sure all these three people involved will pay. I hope to God they wasn't trying to that. I don't think it included the 9-year-old girl. I hope that's not the person's name, that third person on the petition. But that little girl is not responsible. 9-year-old is not responsible. So I don't know who that third person's name, who they put in the petition that they're going to go after. So let's hope and pray that this little girl is going to be all right as well. Thanks for sharing too, Jackie. I really appreciate everything you do and have done. And lots of love. The 27th I go, and I have an appointment for um, the dentures, and it'll be so awesome. I told my son and my grandkids, I said, "Y'all finally get to see Grandma with a smile. You'll finally get to see me with a smile." Then I'll be able to get on camera some of the time, right? God bless you too, Jackie, and thoughts and prayers for you. God bless.